Hey, remember this video? Even if you're not deeply immersed in UFO UAP worlds, it probably looks familiar. It's one of the 3 declassified UAP videos that were released back in 2017. And I actually did an in-depth video on all of those videos, and I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. So anyway, we've got these 3 videos, as well as the testimonies of some of our top Navy fighter pilots who've seen these things, and a statement from the DoD confirming that these are genuine UAP videos taken by the US Navy. Not much to really debate or even question about their validity, except that apparently some people still do. I was just sitting here chilling after my Spravato appointment, and I came across a UAP documentary on YouTube that was released this year, 2024, and wouldn't you know it, they actually had a segment talking about how the Go Fast UAP video isn't of a UAP at all. Rather, the pilots and all of our best intel people at the Pentagon who analyzed it and deemed it to be a UAP were all just completely bamboozled by a very elementary optical illusion that anyone could figure out by applying some basic math to the video alone. Wow, I guess we need to replace all of the bozos at the Pentagon with those guys. As outrageous as that claim is, especially considering it's been 7 years since those videos were released, it's one that I've heard a number of times in relation to the Go Fast video in particular. I often forget that there's so much information that's never reported on in the mainstream news, and so for those who aren't actively engaged in the developments in the UFO UAP world, which is most people, a lot of valuable information ends up going unheard. The Go Fast is a UAP, and I'm going to tell you a little story that should put the matter to rest once and for all. After this, if you're still not convinced, then you're just a lost cause. Go move to Contrarian Corner. I'm kidding. You know what's even more ridiculous than claiming the Go Fast is an optical illusion? Fighting about it on Mark Zuckerberg's internet. It's just not that serious, guys. But let's get into it. This is retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet. Tim has a PhD in oceanography. He's also a research affiliate for Harvard's Galileo project. He's on the advisory boards of both the Sol Foundation and Americans for Safe Aerospace, and he's the former Assistant Secretary of Commerce and Deputy NOAA Administrator. But for this story, we've got to go back to 2015, when he was the Chief Meteorologist for the entire US Navy, meaning he was the top oceanographer, meteorologist, and hydrographer advising the Chief of Naval Operations. So yeah, Tim was, and still is, a big deal. Also, super nice guy. I met him back in December at a conference in New York and have nothing but great things to say about him. He's one of those people who are so excited and passionate about what they do that even if you have no interest in it, you certainly will while he's talking about it. I'll leave links in the description to a few podcasts he's appeared on, as well as his presentation at the Sol Foundation Symposium, and I highly recommend checking them out. But back to the story. So it's 2015, Tim is the chief meteorologist for the Navy, and one day he gets an email from the Fleet Forces Operations Officer.
And one day I get this email on the Navy's secret network, SIPRNet, and it's from my boss's operation officer. I was reporting to a 4-star admiral, U.S. Fleet Forces Command. His operations officer was a 2-star. And the email was sent to all the subordinate commanders. This is at least 20 flags and SESs. All the deputies are copied on it. And the title of it is Urgent Safety of Flight Issue, all caps. And the body of the email said, if any of you know what these are, tell me ASAP. We are having numerous near midair collisions. And if we don't stop it, we're going to have to cancel the exercise. And attached to the video was the now famous leaked Go Fast video.
Nickel 6-1 Tango Roger, over. Oh, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting. Did you box moving target? No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly!
F-18 pilots captured video of this UAP zorching over the water. There's no flight control surfaces or propulsion means that are visible. It's just a little round sphere. And then the pilots are all going crazy, and other videos have mentioned how there were multiple ones out there. And I knew right then and there that was not ours. We don't have technology like that. I was read into a lot of SAPs, to the best of my knowledge, and we would never do that in a training range. Especially aircraft carrier workups are so compressed. They have to do all these things. The pilot's got to get certified. They got to land so many times on the carrier. They got to do all these things and certify to go deploy. So throwing out advanced technology in a training range during a pre-deployment workup just doesn't happen. I mean, people will get fired. So I knew that wasn't ours. I also had been read into all the threat, our adversaries' capabilities. I knew that nobody else had that. And so I knew right there that was something not ours. Not human, off-world, whatever. It just wasn't ours. And my deputy and I were both open-minded. He was an SES, and I pulled him over, and we've talked about it for a while. And we're just pretty much amazed. But the next day, that email was wiped from my computer and my deputies and everybody else. So, okay, it's gone. Wow, I wanted to save that thing. It was interesting.
Super weird, right? But it gets
weirder.
So once a month, there was a meeting held at Fleet Forces where people like Tim and everyone else you see it on that email would attend and discuss all sorts of things, like safety of flight issues.
I was the Chief Meteorologist of the Navy. My job was safety of flight. And so here we are, we're having a major safety of flight concern with these UAP, and no one ever talked about it again during a meeting. I went to monthly meetings at Fleet Forces. The ops officer was there, the person who sent that email, the commander, and all the supporting commanders like me who were on that email. Monthly meetings in person, I'd go down there. Nobody ever talked about it. And I couldn't believe it. Now,
nobody brought up that email?
No. Well, and that's the thing, is that we all knew, okay, someone just touched a SAP and they got rid of it and we can't talk about it. Think about that. So we could have had planes falling out of the sky, but we're not going to talk about it because of this overclassification. That's what's. There's a lot of unethical aspects, I think, of this whole UAP system that exists right now in the government.
Tim said that, of course, the implication was that this was some sort of SAP and therefore they all needed to just drop it. Well, that's all well and good, except that didn't change the fact that SAP or not, this thing was still a safety of flight issue. So the next logical step in Tim's mind was to go to the SAP control officers and say, hey, look.
My people were working with technology under a certain SAP, and I wanted to learn about that more so I could make better decisions for my people. And I had the SAP control officers say, no, sir, you don't have a need to know. And I thought that was BS. Here I am. I'm responsible for their well-being. I got to make sure they have all they need. If they're using something, this is totally in my right to, because I am responsible for their outcomes and their well-being, to know what they're working with. Oh no. What if it was hazardous to their health? Nope, you don't need to know, sir. So that's what Grush was talking about, that these people running the crash retrieval program they're leaving Congress in the dark, and they're not letting others with authority and responsibility know either. And that gets down to being illegal.
I mean, it sounds like a rogue entity.
Totally.
I mean, who would be running that?
Exactly. That's not how our government's supposed to work. That's not according to the Constitution as I know it.
So now, not only do we have a video of the UAP, as well as a statement from DoD saying it's a video of a UAP, but you also have a Rear Admiral and the Navy's Chief Meteorologist saying that when he tried to look into it, he was met with the same "you don't have a need to know" BS we heard about from Dave Grush. Not only that, but it's since come out that one of the pilots who was flying during those exercises and actually saw these things was none other than Lieutenant Ryan Graves, who you might recognize from that congressional hearing in July of 2023, where alongside Commander Fravor and Dave Grush, he testified under oath about his encounters and the risk they pose to our aviators.
My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I'm a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Inherent Resolve. I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight briefs.
The Go Fast video just so happens to be one video of one of these things. You'd better believe there are a lot more.
Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust.
So there you go. Go Fast is a UAP, not an optical illusion.
Illusion, Michael. Trick is something a whore does for money.
Before we end this video, since we're already talking about the Pentagon UAP videos, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the absolutely disastrous former director of Aero, recently did an interview with former DoD analyst turned journalist Merrick von Rennenkamp. And at one point they talk about the gimbal UAP video. And well, this happened.
So the most plausible thing is that it is a stationary object moving with the wind.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Because a lot of that is glare that you're also getting off of the reflection. That's why it's so apparently hot. Because you have to now and do the sun angles off of that.
This was at night, first of all.
Okay, it was at night. That's right. This is the gimbal.
This happened 10 minutes after the Go Fast video.
Are you kidding me? I mean, is what we saw here the same process he went through to conclude that the video evidence that we have is not UAPs at all? What a joke. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Let me know in the comments if this was your first time hearing Tim Gallaudet's story. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more content like this from me in the future, because of course you do, don't forget to subscribe before you go. I'm going to be reviewing Lou Elizondo's upcoming book. I'm also thinking of doing a video on Loose Threads, maybe even one on Paul Benowitz and Richard Doty. Lots of exciting stuff. But also please leave me suggestions in the comments of topics you want me to cover. Anyway, I'm going to go back to chilling with the pugs in my post-Spravato bliss, and I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
I think it's about time that we do disclose that we are in contact with non-human intelligence. That's what needs to be put out there in the public.